Shalom, this is just a test that, let's see how this goes. It might turn out to be a lesson. Anyway, giving all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Upakwadash. And I wanted to say a few words on this book. For you newer brothers that's learning about Israel, and sisters, of course. Anyway, this is Adair's history of the American Indian. I'm looking for the year here. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, first published in 1930. Promontory Press, New York, New York. So this was published. The book was printed in New York. Anyway, when you look up, look into the history of this man, Adair, or James Adair. He traveled and traded and lived among the Plains Indians of America. And basically this is his personal information, his observation. And let me see, let me go to page 14. This is the last paragraph of page 14. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to show it to you. It says, from the most exact observations I could make in the long time I traded among the Indian Americans, I was forced to believe them linearly descended from the Israelites, either while they were a maritime power or soon after the general captivity. The latter, which is the general captivity, however, is the most probable. This descent I shall endeavor to prove from their religious rites, civil and martial customs. Because Gad was one of the warrior tribes. You had Gad, Manasseh, and Reuben. Goes on to say, martial customs, their marriages, funeral ceremonies, manners, language, traditions, and a variety of particulars which will at the same time make the reader thoroughly acquainted with nations of which it may be said to this day very little have been known. So I'm going to let you see it. And this here is page 15. I guess it's going to turn out to be a class instead of a test. Now I want to go to page 190. Oh, let's go to page 45. Bear me for a minute. He goes into the Hebrew. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Bear with me. I want to find a page where it speaks about them calling on Yahweh. You have no choice but to bear with me or change the channel. Okay, this is page 47. It says, one who killed a beautiful great red or war chieftain, which is compounded of chokoma, calmly, homa, red, ash. The Hebrew word ash is fire. The Hebrew word ash means fire. And in Hebrew, the word fire in the Hebrew is ash. And here it is right there. Let's move on. They make this divine name point yet more strongly to the supreme author of nature, for as Abba signifies father. Father in the Hebrew is Abba. Let you look at it. Hope you can see it. Okay, this is page 50. History of the American Indian by James Adair. Thus finished the great song, or most solemn invocation, or calling in, of the divine essence. The notes together compose their sacred, mysterious name, and it's Y-O-He-Wa, or Yo-He-Wa, Yo-He-Wa. That's not the way you pronounce the name of the Most High. It's Yahweh. It says that this seems to be the true Hebrew pronunciation of the divine essential name, and the word there in the Hebrew or the Assyrian is Yahweh or Jehovah will appear more obvious from the sound they seem to have given their characters. So I'm going to show you this. Hope you can see it. Let's go through a few more pages. Let's go to page 70. 77. Let's see what we can find on page 77. The people, my last video that I did, if you watch the whole video, it's about 90 minutes long. I go into the Apocrypha to show you that the 10 tribes, as they call them, or the northern kingdom, were taken over by the Assyrians under King Shalmaneser. If you watch the video, you can see that. And they had decided to come to the other side of the world because they knew that there was another part of the earth, the Western world. They knew that because of King Solomon and his navy. Okay, let me look at this, that I may read it. Doesn't show the Hebrew characters. Let me do this. Let's go to page 190. Let me just flip the pages just to see what I can find. Okay, this is a good one. Page 84. Give me a second. Let me write this down. Page 84. See, when you really get into these studies, you got to know history. You got to know how to link up biblical events with secular history. This is page 84. So let me put that down there. Page 84. So High Priest Adair didn't just make it up. The Spirit was working with him. Okay, let me see here. The singular number of Allahayim. When you go to Genesis 1:1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, when you look that word up in the Hebrew, the word there is Allahayim, which means the powers or the gods or the angels. So it says here, compassion, and loa is a connection of lak, drawn from Allah, the singular number of Allahayim, because Allahayim is plural and Allah is singular, which means God, which is God, and Allahayim is gods. Elohim, the name of the holy ones. So if you can see it, okay, let's go to a few more. So when Cristobal Colon came over to and discovered the so-called New World, which is, this is the New World. That's why it's called, that's why on your dollar bill it says Novos Ordo Seclorum, New World Order. So they called on the Great Spirit, they called him Yahweh, but they didn't pronounce it the way we pronounce it. They called their fathers Abba. They called the angels or God, or a God, Allahayim, Allah, or Allah. The Arab, the Mohammedans, the Islamic people, they call on Allah, right? Allah is one of the names of the Most High. Allah means God. Yeah, it says it right here. In like manner, they sing on other they sing on other religious occasions, and at their feast of love. You got Allah, which is God or power, the divine name, one of the divine names. The divine name, the true divine name is Yahweh. By his attribute of omnipotence, all powerful, and Yah, alluding to Yahweh. They sing likewise, Hiwa, which is Hawa, which means to be. Hawa, which means to be. The Yah, the prefix Yah, which is the smallest character of the Hebrew alphabet. That's why the Lord said not one jot, one tittle. When you look up the word jot, it goes back to the letter J, which came about in 1524, but the J is an extension of the I, which goes back to Yah. That's why he said not, when the Lord said it in Hebrew, he said not one Yah shall in no wise pass from the law. So here we go. You can look at it. And then I'm going to close it. And this guy, James Adair, I believe he could have been a Jake that looked like an Edomite. Remember Speckled Bird? Anyway, with that, I'm going to say Shalom.